Hello and welcome to this special conversation on Mfis and AWS present AIM 2023 in association with CNBCTV18.com. I'm Ritu Bhandari. Did you know that more than 77% of the devices that we interact with every day use some form of artificial intelligence? AI is pervading our lives more than we realize, and it is revolutionizing industries as well as nations. World business leaders have declared the next 10 years as India's decade, and here we are with a huge opportunity to ride the AI wave. So how can cutting-edge AI solutions transform critical sectors like healthcare? How do we harness AI safely without disrupting the employment of millions of Indians? And what about ethics and regulatory concerns around AI? We'll be talking about all this with the leadership team of Mfis Technologies, a very fast-growing company born in India and offering AI solutions to various industry sectors. I'm joined today by Vikram Manchanda, the CEO of the company, and Vijay Jain, the founder of Mfis Technologies. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's a pleasure to have you in our studios. And well, let me begin by saying that in India, we are poised for growth. We are at something of a sweet spot when it comes to, the global downturn that the rest of the world has been seeing. World business leaders have reinforced faith in the India growth story. So how do you see the larger AI growth story shaping up within the India growth story? Vikram, if I can start with you.
First of all, I would like to talk about how optimistic we are about the India growth story. India is growing at a pace which is for next 10 years, 6 to 8% at a very minimal inflation at the moment. And if you really look at the total GDP, which is going to grow from 3.5 trillion to 7.5 trillion by 2031, is going to be the third largest economy. That's one economic data. The second big point, we really look at the median age of our population. It's 28 plus, extremely productive. Now, if we go really back from data to what we really see the pulse when we talk to our people, I think that's where the story is. The level of optimism, the level of resolve we have together. I think that's something which we really are excited about. So India's story is intact. The second big wave which we are all facing is the AI wave. Now, if we really look at how AI is being described, I think some are calling it as equal to as an internet revolution. Some are calling it as big as electricity. Some have called it as big as like the wheel came in for industries and for manufacturing, right? How we came from there. Whichever way we look at it, it's a once in a century sort of an event. So think at the same time, we've got two waves coming in a very, very big way. Now, can we ride this together? I think that's the India's opportunity. If we can really now embrace AI as a country, as a nation, I think what we are planning to do in next 20 to 30 years, the economic development can happen in half the time. I think that's a big piece. The second impact, what we really see is on social impact. And the third impact we see is around co-creativity and co-innovation.
Okay, so those are some interesting points, and we are going to come to all the good, bad, and ugly around AI that people are talking about. But let me come to Mfis then. Vijay, Mfis was born in India in 2016. It's a born in the cloud company, but you are evolving now into an AI solutions company. Tell us more about that.
So yeah, Mfis was born in 2016. I think the goal when we kind of created Mfis was to help enterprises adopt public clouds. And I think at that point in time, we just wanted to be India's leading cloud MSP. And when I kind of reflect back on the India growth story you mentioned, right? And I look at the period 2016 to 2020, some of the key significant events which kind of shaped the India digitization story. I think in 2016 we had demonetization, then we had the GST implementation was starting to move ahead, digital payments was picking up. And fourth one is like a lot of the public hyperscalers like AWS, Azure started putting their so-called regions or data centers in India. And in 2020, of course, very unfortunate, but COVID was there, which one of the silver lining of the COVID was kind of the digitization push it happened. So I think if I kind of reflect on the past 4 years, which is like Mfis' journey as well, and yeah, I think a lot of parallels can be drawn from the India growth, which is on the digitization side, and Mfis was like an outcome or beneficiary out of the overall India digital growth story. And coming to the second question, how is Mfis kind of looking up to AI? And Yeah, so from that perspective, right, so Mfis is kind of seen the evolution of cloud, and cloud literally helped a lot of data come onto the cloud, which essentially means AI now becomes far more feasible and possible, right? And in 2022, sometime in that, we started renewing a new mission and vision, which is to be a bionic organization. Now, what really bionic means is we kind of believe humans are irreplaceable, even in the AI world. And for a Mfis-like company, which is mission as bionic, it means it is a symbiotic relationship between humans and deep tech. And that's the core mission and vision we are kind of building our AI journey. By that, it really means like AI is in center of everything what we do, all our offerings. So in kind of summary, I kind of reflect on the past and the future, and I think we are going to continue riding the India wave growth story.
Right. I want to pick up on that point that you mentioned about this symbiotic relationship between humans and AI. Vikram, India continues to be a very labor-intensive economy. While AI is creating very high-value jobs now and giving opportunities to a lot of people, in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, there is a lot of talent that does not have the skills yet. And there is potential for large-scale disruption to happen, especially in the lives of these people who have not yet been trained on AI. Now, when we are looking at jobs of the future, we're already seeing big layoffs in hyperscalers around the world. How can we as a country remain people first and ensure that this bionic methodology is adopted across the nation?
I think we have a very different perspective on this, actually. I think all along, the thought process was that when technology is going to come in, when automation is going to come in, we will lose jobs. And especially for the low-skilled and semi-skilled. This is the first time what we are seeing is the white-collar jobs, the knowledge worker jobs are getting impacted. So if you really look at a job for a radiologist who does diagnosis, AI can do even better than that. Sometimes this technology has been developed by software developers. But if you really look at the impact, it is bringing impact to software developers' jobs as well, because you can now automate even development of a code. Even somebody like yourself who is doing content creation, our jobs are going to be very, very different. So the way I think the impact is going to happen in Tier 1 and for knowledge workers and white-collar workers is going to be very different. For semi-skilled, for Tier 2, Tier 3, we see a very, very different, our experience is very different. We have delivery centers in these locations. We are seeing a very shift after the pandemic that these people are working in hybrid mode and they are going back and the skill and talent is available. And they're fast embracing this. So the way we are able to reskill people to really use AI, it's extremely innovative use. And at the same time, if you really look at the hardest jobs are going to be artificial general intelligence, which means the same person can do a completely like human job because human can do multiple things at the same time. So I see this as a very positive change for India and which we should embrace rather than resist. It's our opportunity.
Right. Okay. It is our opportunity. Vijay, talking about talent, as you continue with the whole systematic expansion of Mfis, how do you plan to build in-house capabilities, especially on the leadership side, as well as high-performing AI talent like Vikram was talking about?
Yeah, I think we just spoke, right? I spoke like 2016, 2022, how technology is evolving. So I think this technology is keep evolving and keep changing, right? But I think people are going to remain constant, and that's also in our mission, right? Like humans are going to be integral part of Mfis.
Right. Okay. So we've spoken a lot about the positives of AI. I want to spend a quick minute on the flip side, and we've seen recent use cases where AI has gone rogue. There have been concerns about the ethics. There are regulatory concerns. Countries are thinking about what sort of regulations to put on AI. Human bias has crept into algorithms. What is the Mfis view on harnessing AI safely and for the larger good of the human race?
Yeah, I think just referring to your point, I think there's a spectrum of thoughts. I think there's yet a convergence to come in. I think there are people who say this is not going to be, this is just a hype, and this will change away. And then there is the other end of the spectrum where people are talking about this is going to end human civilization. I think our view is somewhere in between. We don't subscribe to either of the views. I think this is transformational. There is going to be, I think we have to be proactive. We have to create a blueprint. I think India as a country is at the right place with the India stack, with the sort of frameworks which are already available, with the user owns their data. And that's going to be a very, very big part of this. This is going to be complex because it's not the answers only at this stage or the solutions. We have to ask the right questions first. And by the time governments actually come out and nations really talk about regulation and really build this from regulations, I think it is not only that we should really look up to the regulators and government at this stage, we should actually, as private sector, have a big role to play here. We have to self-regulate in the interim by the time regulation comes in. So for instance, this is very important that we need to declare, are we dealing with a bot or with a human when we are interacting online? So there are a number of such initiatives, but it's an opportunity where we need to collectively create a blueprint. How do we go forward in all of this?
All right, that's a point well made. And yes, we often do not know if we are interacting with humans or bots, and it would help to know who we are actually talking to on the other side. Well, on that note, we'll take a quick break right now. On the other side, we'll talk about how Mfis is enabling integrated healthcare for the future. And we'll also learn about AIM 2023, the exclusive event that will bring together prominent healthcare stakeholders and AI visionaries. Stay with us. Welcome back to this special conversation where I'm joined by the leadership team of Mfis Technologies. We've been talking about how artificial intelligence is transforming our world, and I want to zoom in a little bit on the healthcare sector in particular. It's a critical sector that has traditionally seen low investments in India, but tremendous positive change is possible here with emerging technologies and AI solutions. Vijay, well, at Mfis, you have been enabling integrated healthcare. Give us a sense of all that you are doing to enable a better and a much healthier India for the future.
I think you spoke about healthy India, right? I think Vikram also spoke in the previous conversation. So healthy India is not just a metaphor, and I think a significant aspiration for the nation. And Mfis, within limited bandwidth and capacity, I think health is one of the most important verticals we have chosen to solve. And health being such a large segment, we were kind of thinking, what do we do on health and how do we contribute towards a healthy nation? I think one of the interesting observations which we kind of deliberated, and I think there are two aspects to it, right? One, for the nation to be healthy, modern medicine alone may not be sufficient, and I think the element of preventive medicine which comes into play, and which kind of coupled with the power of AI, and I think that would give a peak performance for the country. So I think that's the viewpoint we have, and that's the area we want to solve, which is at the convergence of modern medicine and preventive medicine, and use AI to build data frameworks which helps the practitioners to take decisions in real time. In addition to this, I think we are doing some interesting work on data integration and interoperability. We are working with national agencies and helping them solve using the cloud and AI technologies. We are working with a lot of startups, like IO.ai is one of our customer, our partner, and co-innovator. We do a lot of co-innovation with IO, and we are trying to solve problems around data analytics and insights in respect to health. So I think, health, we are very passionate about it, and we'll continue investing and building solutions around it. So in summary, Mfis intends to be an ecosystem where a lot of OEMs like Amazons of the world, startups like IO.ai and Mfis would come together and solve problems.
Right. And can you give us an example of what a collaboration like IO.ai and Mfis would mean to the end consumer or the patient? Give us a sense of how that benefits people at large.
Yeah. Sure. So I think Mfis comes with a lot of power in terms of technology capability, power of cloud, AI, and I think technologies keep evolving, and we keep updating ourselves. And the power of co-creation comes here, where IO.ai is an expert in preventive medicine, and they are the domain experts in how to solve the problems. I think this is where the collaboration has come into play, and we are helping to solve the problems.
Right, got it. Okay, so Aside from healthcare, what are the other sectors, Vikram, that Mfis is currently focused on, and how are you helping your customers define their AI growth strategies?
Yeah, again, very interesting. As we said, huge focus on India for us. Of course, we are present in 6 countries, in North America and Australia and a few other countries as well. But India remains at the core where we were born. And since then, we have really focused on engines of growth for India. And in the last couple of years, if you really see, it's the physical infrastructure, whether it's from the government or from the private sector. Either it's from manufacturing. So manufacturing and supply chain is a very, very big vertical for us. Huge area and huge focus around ERP modernization. Last several years, ERPs have been deployed, but they have not been cloud native. So we have really helped these customers to move onto cloud. And because of that, their efficiency and productivity has really gone up. So that's one stream which we really have worked. We also work with a lot of customers in the energy and sustainability space, because again, that's a country's priority. To be from a climate change perspective, from a carbon neutrality perspective, we are able to really forecast solutions. And we are able to talk about how renewable energy, let's say solar, wind, how their forecast from demand and supply would actually be predicted. And therefore, there will be stability for the grid as well. So that's one area which we have worked. Second area where we are working is on the social infrastructure. On social infrastructure, if whatever the government's initiatives from the federal ministry, big initiatives like Skill India, working with National Skills Development Corporation, we are enabling the government that the infrastructure and the IT infrastructure can be managed by somebody like a cloud provider and ourselves like AWS and Mfis, and we have done for state governments as well as for national governments. While governments can focus on the citizen impact, they need not really focus on something which is purely IT and infrastructure related. And that's how we have enabled their AI strategy. The third big lever for us where we are focused are on digital natives and startups. And that's really taking the India forward. And they have a AI embedded strategy irrespective of verticals. So customers like Book My Show and many others in this space, we have actually enabled them how they're going to take the digital and AI at the center of what actually they do.
Right. So, okay, lots happening in terms of solving problems for customers. But as a founder, Vijay, what's your biggest challenge right now? And where do you really see Mfis 3 to 5 years from now?
One of the challenges is how Mfis stays relevant in the evolving technology landscape. Second is on the geo expansion side. So Mfis is expanding geographically and currently present in 5 countries, including apart from India. And so how do we scale in this being a born in India company? How do Mfis stays and grows in this foreign countries is kind of a challenge in front of us.
But finally, Vikram, let me come to this special event that we have, AIM 2023, that Mfis, AWS and CNBC-TV18 are putting together. Tell us a little more about the thought process behind this event. It's being hosted on the 23rd of June in Gurugram. What's the idea behind it? What can we expect?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we are 18% of the world's population, right? Most populous country, and we need to be a healthy country. We need to be, of course, dealing for our healthcare and need to sort of cure our sick, but that's only one part. So in our mind, I think modern medicine takes care of dealing with the sick and curing them. So there's going to be AI intervention to what are the use cases, what are the solutions which are working in this space so that we can cure our sick. I think there's a big piece where India has sort of told that we don't have as much investments in the healthcare sector. But if we are able to prevent, and prevention is the best cure, right? In that case, we don't even need to spend on healthcare. So are there AI technologies by which we can do actually prevention? Yeah. And a huge focus from the government, from Ministry of Ayush, in actually making prevention possible. It's just the lifestyle changes. And having said that, those two parts, there's a third pillar which we are really looking for, that if we want the kind of aspiration as a country we have, we not only look at just the normal population, can we optimize our performance? And can we achieve peak performance for every Indian? We are a young nation. As I said, just an average age of about 28 to 30. The lifespan is going to increase massively over the next 50 to 100 years. We need to really take care of this and have peak performance. So this is an ecosystem play. AWS and Mfis have come together, but we are putting an alliance together It's going to be an India alliance, and hopefully this is going to become a global alliance to take together healthcare providers, artificial intelligence providers, startups, DNB, whoever is interested in this space, from regulation, from enablers. I think this will be a place to sort of come in and take a blueprint forward from here.
Right. All right. We're really looking forward to that. And thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us here today. On that note, it's a wrap on this special conversation. Do watch out for our exclusive event, AIM 2023 at Gurugram on the 23rd of June. We'll be hosting very engaging dialogues with key stakeholders on AI-enabled healthcare for a better future. Thanks for joining us today. Goodbye.